It's time again for the $30,000 Candlepin Challenge, brought to you by American Car Care Centers in conjunction with CN8 and the International Candlepin Bowling Association. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the Woburn Bowlerdrome. John Holt with Dan Murphy. We wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a safe holiday. Glad you're spending part of your weekend with us, and we're going to give you some good bowling today. First, though, we want to review the format. So we're about 6 weeks into the season.
That's right. We have the Challengers match, is that one-game sprint version of our show. And winner of that, of course, moves into the championship match. It's a two-game match, and they take on last week's champion, which would be Steve Renaud. And what a match he put on last week.
Steve really bowling well last week. We'll get his thoughts and set the stage for his championship match today. But first, as always, we meet the challengers with Trina Fernandez. Trina?
Thank you very much, John. I'm over here with Larry Valcourt and Steve Vadney. Larry, we'll start with you. You guys are old friends. You bowl in the same league. You see each other, what, every Monday and Friday night?
Yes.
So you know what to expect out of Steve.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It should be a good match. Yep.
What are you expecting this string to be like?
Big, I hope.
Right, with one string, anything can happen. And Steve, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
How are you feeling today?
Pretty good. Just came down from Nashua. Left my daughter's house. She may be here today. She's on her way now. Hopefully she makes it.
Well, she's the newlywed, correct? The last time you were on the show, you were getting ready to walk her down the aisle, and now she's a married woman.
That's right, since December. So, doing real well now.
All right, well, congratulations to her, and good luck to both of you. We'll head back over to John.
All right, Trina, Steve, you haven't been a defending champ on this show before you've been on the program. What does it feel like to come back as the reigning champ?
Feels real good. Feels real good. Last year I had lost a very close match, and it was a very high-scoring match to Dave Richards. He went on to win the overall championship, I believe. Feels real nice to be on the other end. I like to make it 2 in a row, but I got some tough competition over there, so we'll see what happens.
We'll wait and watch the Challengers match, and we'll see you for the championship match.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope so. I hope I do all right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Back with the Challengers match right after this on CN8. Stick with us. Well, the gang's all here. You, us, and of course the American Car Care Center's mascot, the Big Eagle Ace. Looking forward to another week of terrific Candlepin bowling here throughout New England, and we are all set for the Challengers matchup. Larry Valcourt going versus Steve Vadney, and Steve will go first. The winner to take on Steve Renaud, of course, in that championship match. Steve Vadney from Claremont, New Hampshire. He'll open up by dropping 7, threatening to make it 8. He does. Make it 8, an 8-pin drop.
Just a 2 and the 4 left. Trying to draw first blood in this match and put a mark up in the first frame. Now he's got a piece of wood to contend with, and he's not going to like it at all. Come up really high in the wood. That's what he tried to do.
Misses it completely. I'll have to settle for just that 8 in the opening box. Over to lane 36. Lanes 35 and 36 in use here at the Woburn Bowlerdrome. Off the headpin to the right.
Takes out just a 3-pin.
Second ball. And he'll drop 6 more. Make that 7 more. A 9 box following the 8 box. 17 total for Steve Vadney. Just the 1 game to determine the winner of the Challengers match, the 2-game championship match between the winner of this one and Steve Renaud, looking to make it 2 weeks in a row. Larry out of New Hampshire as well. Newport, New Hampshire.
Oh, that's close to a strike.
Barely started with all 10 falling. Makes it a spare to open with. Good start for Larry. First ball fill up coming. Larry with an average of 121. Steve with an average of 122. He will fill with 3. That headpin still up. 10 in the corner. It's a couple more. Third and final ball, frame 2 for Larry. Comes up empty on that one, but he'll take a 1-pin advantage. The rest of the match, 18-17. Back to Steve. Right on the headpin for the strike. Well done.
Just a tad better than Larry Valcourt. He dropped 9 and left the 5, and Steve was able to take care of that 5-pin right there.
Can he capitalize here in the 4th? Let's see how he does in the fill. A healthy 9-pin drop. Second ball of the fill still to come, and a chance for consecutive marks for Steve Vadney. Here we go. Got it.
They're on strike.
Up to 47 with that mark in the 4th. Now Larry back in. We'll take out half the pins. 10 in the corner, 4 horsemen to the left. 1, 2, 4, 7. Second ball. It's 2 more to go. And a 9 box for Larry Valcourt. Moves him from 18 to 27.
10-pin advantage for Steve Vadney early in the match.
Six of the 10 dropping. Three still up for Larry Valcourt. It's 2 of them to go. Another 9 box. He's at 36. That'll lead up to 11, and big first ball coming up for Steve Vadney following that spare in the 4th. Had a strike back in the 3rd. Owner of a high single of 197. Fills it up with 5.
Oh, boy.
Nearly a 3rd straight mark.
Steve thought he had it. I thought he had a chance.
Misses the 7, though. He's at 61 now. Four horsemen to the right. 8-pin in the back.
Oh,
Gets all
very
5.
nice. Always difficult when you have the 4 horsemen plus the other pin. And here you see the replay. Watch the head pin go off the wall and come back for the 8.
Larry back in, looking for his first mark since the first frame.
Oh, big strike. Not much doubt about that one. Buries it in the 1-3 pocket. And then you see the replay. It doesn't take him long. 7 and 10, the last 2 to go down.
See if he can capitalize on the fill.
Looking for the double, and he gets it. He'll be eligible for that $1,000 if he can throw one more.
Get some time to think about it as he takes his seat. Here's number 2 in a row.
Tightens things up.
Steve with that 5-pin advantage and a fill to start the 7th after the spare and 6. And he'll fill it up with 7 pins.
Oh, missing the head pin, and whoa, almost came back.
Gets all 10. Now at 88. Here's a look at Larry. Big red. Eight of the 10. The 6 and the 9.
See, that happens so many times with a 2-pinner. You hit the object one, but just hit it too flush, and the ball and the pin drive straight back.
He is open in 7 and 8, and big opportunity for Larry now, looking for a 3rd straight mark, and of course, the triple strike.
Could be a $1,000 ball, or at least a portion of it.
Here goes.
Well, it's not a strike, but more importantly, it's not a very good fill in that first ball.
Second half of the fill. Takes them all out. Nice recovery.
Excellent recovery. Spare on strike. Takes over the lead. See, the 5-pin's a little stubborn, but finally goes.
And a big fill here in the 8th.
Leading by 2 pins plus this ball. Make it 3 more.
Can he make it 4 straight marks? All but 1. Steve Vadney will have some work to do over the final 2 frames to catch Larry Valcourt. 4-pin advantage for Larry. Each bowler with 2 frames remaining. A trip to the championship match on the line between these two. Nine of 10 for Steve. What would be a crucial mark if he can pick it up. Got it. Up to 108 this first ball. Very important.
Big 9 fill.
Would have loved to have gotten the strike, but he'll certainly take that. Chance to finish with another mark and get that bonus ball.
This will force Larry to get 2 marks when he gets up there.
Steve coming up big down the stretch. 1 more ball to go. Love another 9, of course, or 10. Give him 5. 132, 132, a real solid score from Steve. Larry's going to get 30 to tie over the next 2, the final 2, 31 to win it.
2 marks. Still got Very good chance if he can put 2 of them up there.
They'll take out all but 2.
3 and 6 left. At this point, he's got to be thinking 3-pin. If you go by the 3, chances of you making a spare diminish tremendously. Have to have the 3-pin.
He'll get just the 6. Went right by it, missed the 3.
So now he'll have to throw a couple strikes.
To 111. Opposite, though, the spares here are 9 and 10, so.
Needs a double strike plus 2 more. He's already thrown 1 double. No, that'll do it. Steve Vadney will take on Steve Renaud. I'll go out on the limb and say Steve will probably win the next match.
Larry wrapping up now. 9 more. 132 to 120. A well-bowled match, but it's Steve Vadney advancing to the championship. Bring on Steve Renaud. Larry Valcourt. A good effort, but not good enough. We're back with the battle for the championship next. All set to determine a champion this week, and you like Steve to win this thing.
I'm going on the limb. I think Steve is probably going to win this match.
We'll find out which Steve.
I'm not as bad as Earl. Earl tried to bet Trina that Steve would win. He was willing to give odds, too. But Trina caught on pretty quick.
A little too smart for
yeah.
Earl. Steve Vadney and Steve Renaud. Renaud up first as the reigning champ, and he'll drop 7. No mark in the first. It is a 2-game championship, as we remind you every week. 2-game total. 10 box. Steve from Southbridge, Massachusetts, a neighborhood of Sturbridge. Second ball in the second frame. Gets them all. Spare for Steve Renaud.
See, had to wait a while for some help to come on that 6-pin. Finally topples over. Spare in the second.
Now to the other Steve. You just saw him win the Challengers match.
Oh,
he dropped 7.
10-pin does go. Yeah. Makes a spare shot a little easier. 5, 8, and 9. Oh.
Both Steves with 10s to open. Takes out 8.
Don't like the looks of this wood. No problem for Steve. So Steve gets a 10 box and a spare, and Steve gets a 10 box and a spare.
You still like Steve to win?
I still going for Steve.
So far, you're right on.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Big 8 drop for Steve Renaud on his spare.
Can he make it back-to-back marks?
Seems to me he's going to have to come up with a front piece of wood. He's going to have to come up left of the red line and turn it. That's what he's trying to do. And nothing's going to touch the 5. Look at that.
A lot of action on
wow.
that, but
hit something, Steve says. Hit something.
close. Good sport about it. Picks up all 10 pins ultimately to move to 38 through 3. Drops 5 with the first ball and 4. 2, 4, 7, 6, 10.
Oh, great spare.
Nice execution.
Steve Renaud splits the 2 and the 4, jumps the 2-pin into the 4 and 10 just like that. Great shot.
Fill ball for Steve Vadney. They'll fill with 6.
2, 4, 5, 7. Oh. I think Steve thought that should have gone when the ball came in contact with the pins. It took a little while for that 7-pin to go. Watch this. Ball goes around the 7, but here comes some help.
Can he make it 3 straight marks? Still with a chance if he can get the spare and make it 3 spares in a row.
That 7-pin drop will give Steve 43 through 3 boxes completed. Trying to make it 3 in a row, as John said.
You bet he does it. Both bowlers with spares in the 4th, and Steve Vadney's lead up to 5 pins at 53-48.
Disappointing 1 on that spare. After the great shot that he made converting that spare, he gets just 1.
Making the hard look easy and the easy look hard. Gets 9 total, leaves 1 up to 58 through 5. Number 6 for Steve Renaud. Dropping 6, leaving 4. Dropping 2 more. And now the final 2, 10 bucks at 68 through 6.
Pin advantage for this Steve as you look at Steve Vadney and make it 4 more.
Not the fill he wanted, but it will extend that lead. Opposite an open frame of 9 in the 5th. He'll be open also. To 65, the pin advantage up to 7. Steve Vadney, a New Hampshire native, versus the Bay Stater and Steve Renaud. See what he can do with the remaining 5 pins. Leaves the 3, the 6, and the 10. He gets all 3. Keeps that lead at 7, 75 to 68 through 6 in game 1. That back to the Woburn Bowlodrome for more Candlepin bowling right after this on CNN. We are back in Woburn, Massachusetts for our championship match this week. Steve Renaud, the reigning champ, back up for his 7th frame. He is down 7 pins to the challenger, Steve Vadney. 5 falling, 5 still up.
A little groan from Steve when he released that ball. He knew that was going to be far to the right. Good recovery there, though.
Up for the spare.
Doesn't seem to throw 2 bad balls in a row. Take a look at that one. Just flush on the head pin, just drove everything straight back. Actually, the wood that was there didn't help him at all. Didn't need it.
They'll fill with 8. Can he make it consecutive marks? You bet. '96 through 8, 4 marks for the game. Steve Vadney was with 3 of his own, had him 2, 3, 4 consecutively.
Well, he's going to have to put at least 1 mark up to, in hopes of maintaining his lead. Have a chance. Avoid capping that wood.
Spare for Steve Vadney to match that of Steve Renaud's in the 7th.
Steve Vadney moves over to lane 36 to fill that spare. Needs 8 to maintain his lead.
And he gets just 5. Moves over the 10 pin a few inches, but it stays up along with the 3 and 6.
Well, our champ, Steve Renaud, is going to have a chance to take the lead for the first time.
4 pin edge for Steve Vadney, but the fill in the 9th upcoming for Steve Renaud after a back-to-back spares, the 7 and an 8.
Actually, the second time, because he was ahead by 2 after 2 frames, 28-26. Wow, everything but the 8 pin.
Looking for his 3rd straight mark. Just got to take out that 8. Mission accomplished. And that will put him in the lead by 5 pins. To his 10th and final frame of game 1. Eight of 10 in the fill.
Just the 3 and the 6 left. Not sure if that wood is covering the 3 pin though, so it could be a problem for him.
They get the 3, but not the 6. Last ball in the 10th.
Pretty good opening game though.
133 for Steve Renaud. How can Steve Vadney finish? We'll see. His 9th frame.
Oh, big break there. 6 came back into the 3. They both went down, leaving them just the 4-7. Trying to keep pace.
Got them both. Matching the mark from Steve Renaud in the 9th. Let's see how he fills.
Would be a decent fill on another mark if he was going to take the lead back from Steve Renaud.
A fill of 5. 110 through 9 complete. A mark again. Just a 1 pin. Unwilling to fall. 133-125, a well-bowled opening game in this championship showdown. An 8-pin advantage for the reigning champ, Steve Renaud. Back with game 2 in just a minute. Well, here we go, and for the third straight week, a very competitive match to determine the championship. We'd like to see that. And two good bowlers today, Steve Vadney and Steve Renaud. Vadney, the challenger. He's down by 8 pins and stepping up first in game 2. First ball. Drops 8 of 10.
5-6 left.
Hit it.
That wood is going to, no, not quite. Still should be able to get enough of this right-hand piece of wood. As long as the ball doesn't fly over the piece in front of the 5. The ball might carry him right into the 5. Yes, that's what's happened. Spare in the first.
Good way to start for Steve Vadney. Now can he fill it up in frame 2? Fills it up with 9. Real close to dropping all 10.
Another little roadblock out in front. Got to be high in the wood. That should do it.
Back-to-back marks, not bad.
Let's see if Steve Renaud can answer. Double mark put up by Steve Vadney, the challenger. He's trailing by 8.
Four down, 6 still up. Couple more.
Just a 7. So Steve Vadney takes over the lead.
His total lead at 4 pins. Up to a 12-point advantage in game 2. One, 3, 6, and 10. The 4 horsemen to the right side.
Oh boy, not the conventional way, but it went. He buried in 1-3, but took the 3-pin to come off the left sidewall all the way back across for the 6-10. Strange as it seems, it's still a mark up in the second for Steve Renaud. Now Steve Vadney's fill his mark in the second.
Keep falling. Fill it up with 8.
Some 37 through first 2 frames, and a very difficult spare lead to make it 3 in a row.
He's on a run of marks.
Cap that wood and watch it come off the left sidewall. Clears out the 7 and the 8. Make it 3 marks in a row, all spares. Steve Renaud now. Steve Vadney still up there in lane 36.
Fills it up with 8. Can't make it 4 straight.
Couldn't negotiate that piece of wood. But he's done a little damage here, opening with 3 consecutive spares. 64 through 4.
Now Steve Renaud with the big first ball. .124 average. Oh, strike! What a gigantic one. Good timing.
Certainly was. There you see him just tripping that 4-pin. Perfect strike. Trip the 4 or trip the 6, and that's what they say is a perfect strike. Makes it more perfect that it was on a spare.
First half of the fill, dropping 6. This is going to tighten things up.
Certainly is. 3, 6, 10 on the right with the 4-pin. Piece of wood in between. Is he going to get it? Yes, he is.
Steve Renaud back in the overall lead by a pin, and take a look.
Needs some help on the 4-pin. Almost cut it across, but off the right side wall into the 4-pin, and the result is another mark, spare on strike.
3 straight marks for Steve. Back to Steve Vadney. He'll drop 9.
Just the 4-pin. Got it.
4 marks over 5 frames for Steve Vadney. 3 over 4 for Steve Renaud.
Can't seem to shake our defending champ. Strike on spare.
He is feeling it.
Take a look at tripping the 6-pin. Just the opposite of Steve Renaud's strike, tripping the 4. It's an 84 at the halfway point, 94 in the 6 plus 2 balls. Now Steve Renaud on his spare, just 6.
Yes! They keep falling.
First one who blinks here is going to be the loser, I think. Tripping that 9-pin for his 4th consecutive marks. Spare, strike, and another double spare.
A fill of 8.
Wow, 81 at the turn. And trying to at least match marks, putting a spare up. Steve Vadney has a strike working. 4-7. Oh.
A little disappointed.
Yeah, I can see why he is. When you know your object pin is that 4-pin, and you hit it, but you hit it too flush.
Time to take a break. Boy, do we have a great finish on tap. Steve Vadney and Steve Renaud. It's next on CN8.
Okay, folks, those famous words, come on down. December 12th, our next tape date. Join the fun. Believe me, you know how much fun we have here at the wonderful Woburn Bowladrome on Montvale Avenue, December 12th.
Just really a stone's throw from both 93 and Route 128. Easy to get to. Look forward to seeing you. And boy, do we have a great finish on tap here. 4 frames left for both bowlers. And Steve Renaud, the reigning champ, has a 5-pin overall advantage. But Steve Vadney coming off the strike in 6. They wanted the double. Got an 8-pin drop instead.
That'll give the lead back to Steve Vadney, at least temporarily.
1 more, so without a mark, but 9. And that will push him to 113 through 7. Ahead by 4 pins.
Over the last several weeks, we had some great Candlepin bowling. Great shot making, close matches, high scores. Everything you want. Four horsemen left for Steve Vadney. 1, 2, 4, and 7.
And he'll take one of them out.
First time in a long time one bowler's get up there and hasn't put at least 1 mark up.
Back to Steve Renaud. Very much in striking distance. With a mark, he'd be in good shape. Heading to the final 2 frames. Down 4. 3 taken out. Got a slight delay.
Steve waiting for his bowling balls to be returned.
And now he's ready. Losing some steam here in the 7th. See if he can make it a 10 box. Won't be easy though. 3, 6, 10 to the right. 4 and 7 over to the left with some wood. Straddling the lane in the channel. Got a full complement of bowling balls now.
Oh, disappointing 6.
Well, stretch the lead to 8 pins for Steve Vadney. Steve Renaud needing a mark in a big way here in the 8th. Gets you 7 to go.
2-4 left. Great opportunity for Steve Renaud. No.
Misses to the right. Wow.
That's what he wanted.
Actually gains 1 in count, but missed a golden opportunity.
7-pin advantage for this man you're looking at right now. Final 2 frames. Love to push that lead up into double figures, obviously, to make Steve Renaud double mark. He was open the last 2. He might be open again here unless he can pull off a tremendous spare shot. Piece of wood in front of the 4-7. He'll have to use that. Hopefully he can get somebody coming from left to right for the 6-10.
No mark. 6 and 10. Misses. So some daylight for Steve Renaud. Up to 130 now. It's, Steve Renaud lets out a big breath. Tenth and final frame for Steve Vadney.
Well, Steve Renaud is going to have a shot at this, regardless of what happens.
Three still up. Third and final ball.
This pin is so very important now. Steve Renaud is going to have to throw at least 1 mark.
139 score in game 2.
264 for a 2-game total.
So he needs 24 to tie, 25 to win. And he dropped 6.
Leaves the bucket leave or the diamond leave. Oh, clutch mark.
That is huge.
Trying to prevent himself from getting too excited because he knows that's only the tip of the iceberg. He still needs a decent fill and then pin out.
It's at 250 right now.
All right, 7. I think he has a tie now.
He's in it. Exactly. He's in a tie at the moment.
Yep.
Needs 1 more pin to get it.
2 balls, 1 pin to go.
You got it.
That will do it.
Steve Renaud's going to
squeak it out here.
That's the best way to put it.
Clutch mark, though, in the 9th. Not an easy leave either. He had the diamond 3, 5, 6, and 9, and it's going to be a 2 pins, 1 pin.
2, 6, 5, 2, 6, 4. Wow, every pin counting in this one. Steve Renaud will be back again. He's the champ 2 weeks in a row. We'll wrap it up from Woburn right after this. Well, it doesn't get any closer than this. 265, 264, and Steve Renaud remains the champ.
You know, you always tell kids when they're growing up, every ball is important, and that third ball can be the most crucial ball of the match. And boy, Steve can look at 9 and 8. You can go back in any of the matches and pick up 1 or 2 pins.
We'll speak with Steve Renaud in just a second, but first Trina standing by. Trina?
Thank you, John. I was just talking to Larry, and you were just saying that you butchered all your marks. You had chances, but you just didn't take advantage of them.
Yeah, I had chances to put the match away, you know, give myself a good chance, but little fills on the marks doesn't help. Gave Steve a chance to come back into it, and he took advantage.
And Steve's that sort of guy. He'll take advantage of the chances you give him.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yep. Comes the breaks.
All right. Well, we have $150 for you from the ICBA. That'll help a little bit.
That's very nice.
Okay. And Larry, what a squeaker. I don't think you could have lost. I'm sorry, Steve. Steve, you couldn't have lost a tighter one there. What happened?
I think Stevie and I both were trying to give it back and forth there. I mean, he was cherry picking a couple 8-pin drops. Had 1 bad box, 6 box, and then I left 2 in the corner, and you know, 2-string match, every pin counts, and Stevie made it work for him in the last 2.
And only a difference of 1 pin.
Right. Well, Stevie's on my world team, so hopefully we'll both bowl like that and have a real fun time in a couple of weeks.
Right, well, Steve, we have $200 for you today from the ICBA, and I'm sure it's early in the season. We'll see you both back again. Yeah, all right. Back over to you guys.
Same first name and nearly the same score. You win by a pin, just 1 pin the difference.
Yeah, that was a real good match. The last time I bowled Steve, Dan might remember, him and Doug Brown were commenting, doing the commentary, and that was at the Park Place Lanes when they had the show over there. And Steve whooped my butt, and I rolled a 424, and he killed me that day. So now we're even. It's 1 apiece. We're gonna be joining forces in a couple of weeks to go to Bangor, Maine for the International Candlepin Team Championships, and it's a pleasure to bowl with him. He's one of the best, and I just beat one of the best, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Very gracious, well said. That'll be a dangerous duo, Steve and Steve.
I can't wait.
We'll see you again next week.
Thank you. I'll be here.
That'll do it for the show this week. For Dan Murphy and our CNA